afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems. Welcome to the fastest hour this week that you'll go through. So today we're going to be able to have some time with Adam Phillips, the CEO of American Business Systems. You're in for a real treat this afternoon. Again, those that are joining in, I'm just going to tell you welcome to like I said, the fastest hour of your week. This webinar, once we get started here, just flies by. By the time I look up, the hour's gone. So we don't want to take a lot of time with introduction, but I do know that every webinar that we have, there are new people. And we like to kind of share the ABS story, where we are, where we're heading. With Adam on here today, you're going to hear some great information about some key topics of some things that we're discussing and behind the scenes, where we're going as we keep moving forward, as we are turning 30 come January. And we've got a lot of great things that are happening here. So today, obviously, see, we're going to have an interview with Adam, but really, it's how people launch a successful business with American Business Systems. This is a great way for us to be able to kind of discuss this and chat about it. And so I have got the question and answer box up ready. So I want you to be able to pipe in here with some of your questions. For those that are first timers here, down at the bottom of your screen, somewhere on your screen should be, if you joined us here on Zoom, you'll find a Q&A little icon there. So if you don't mind clicking that and just type in the city, maybe the state where you're located. I like to kind of call everybody out and kind of see if we're coast to coast here. Listen, folks, we've been international on these webinars. We've had people actually from across the seas join us because they're obviously can think about it. They can establish things here. So it's pretty cool to kind of see where people are located and just kind of chat with some folks here. So it looks like Divya, hope I said your name correctly, right here in the heart of Texas. So good to have you here. Now, I know there's some other people on here, so let's see if I can't rattle the cages here. James, I think I know that you're from Oklahoma. I think I remember. Orlandria, type in where you're from. Janaba, Elaine, let's see, Adonis. This old Cajun boy has sometimes trouble with names here, so forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Got some folks, a couple of folks here from Texas. Arkansas, we've got some, like I said, James is from Oklahoma. Good to have everybody here. So remember, this is your webinar. So please type in your questions, especially as we're going through the webinar. And you've got a question that you want to ask specifically to Adam, you can certainly do that. Again, my name's Eric Auger. I'll be your host this afternoon. Along with joining me here in just a moment will be Adam. Folks, we are celebrating early. We feel like we're 30 already, especially when you hear the story behind the story about the Patrick Phillips family, because it's pretty cool of how everything kind of got started here. Some of you already know the history, the company history here with American Business Systems. So let's kind of just jump right on in here. For some of you, this is early pictures of Patrick Phillips whenever he was starting off, getting his career started, and he fell in love with a beautiful young lady back then, Linda, and those two got together and tried to figure out how to have life together. Don't we all try to figure that out when we first get married? What are we going to do with our lives? And then all of a sudden some kids pop along, and then, wow, what do we do next? We got to make a living. So Patrick, being the entrepreneur that he is, went in, started sold Salad Master stuff, which was waterless cookware. I remember one time that Patrick actually had my wife and I over to he and Linda's house, and he actually showed us how he cooked it with the waterless cookware. It's pretty cool. It's still around. It's pretty cool stuff. But then he got some training working for Apple Computer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area before they headed out to California. And then through that, obviously, like I said, family grows. And about the same time of their lives, Linda here, so you can see to the right there, was asked about doing some working possibly from home and doing some what they knew at that time, just some medical billing for what was called what it still is called a durable medical equipment company. And the guy there needed some help, and Linda took on that. She felt like she could help support the family, and gosh, the rest is history. Patrick saw that an opportunity here. Some family were asking about what they were doing and how they were supporting themselves. And Patrick says, "Look, let me just teach you how to do this." And so that's what he did. And that he dawned on him, wow, we might as well, let's teach a whole bunch of people. And so that's how American Business Systems all came about. Now, obviously, that young man there that was in a shirt there that says "License to Lounge," he is now the CEO of our company. Here he is with his dad to his right, I guess, to our left, Adam to the right. Now, Adam's running the company here, and he has kind of picked up where his dad was taking some time off and enjoying retirement. And he has gone through and writing books. He wrote a book and co-authored a book called 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers that he co-wrote with Dr. Vicki Rackner. Now, some of you may recognize that name. We have interviewed her, and we'll probably interview her before the end of the year is up again. It's always good to have her on. He has also been a contributing author for a magazine called Billing and Coding Magazine. He is also the founder of an organization called MIRMA. Now, this is going to be very important for you as you kind of get started here. You're going to want to know about Medical Revenue Management Association of America, because it is this group who actually certifies you. This has been around for quite some time. It has a board of directors. And so now when you're out and about and you are marketing for your company, you can say that you're part of the nation's largest group of medical billers in an association called MIRMA, the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And this is where you got your certification from. You are now a certified medical revenue manager. And so this is very important of how all this comes together. Then on top of all of that, let me kind of tell you a little bit about what you get with us here at American Business Systems. Not only are you getting some excellent training, but all the services I'm about to show you, which starts here with the platform called iClaim and EMRX. This is our billing software, or what's known as a practice management software. And then EMRX, which is the electronic medical records. This is a cloud-based system. It is powered by NextGen. NextGen's been a partner of ours, or we've been a partner with them for quite some time. And they support us with our privately labeled platform behind the scenes. Only ABS people can get that. And along with iClaim and EMRX, you see all the different services that we have here, and there are others that are coming on. If you want to know a little bit more about that and get a more in-depth understanding about how all these services work together and how much money you can make out of all of this, ask your business coach that you're working with here and ask them to get a link or the download to the Medical Revenue Management Research Guide. You're going to want to go through that. So I'm going to say, without any further ado, I'm going to ask Adam to go ahead and join me this afternoon. Adam, it's good to have you here this afternoon.
Hey. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you having me on today. Thanks, everybody. Good to see everybody on here today. We did have a comment from Adonis saying that he travels and works and lives in California and West Virginia. So for those of you that aren't aware, this business is able to be run in any part of the United States. There are no restrictions in where you can have clients, and it's a cloud-based internet-based software system, so it's very easy to do that and have clients all over the place. So
you bet.
Yeah.
Well, that him alone will give us that we're coast to coast. I mean, if he works in California, he goes all the way to West Virginia. We've got it covered here.
Mm-hmm.
As I was looking over the email blast that went out, there were some questions that were on that email blast that kind of where everybody gets to, and it kind of shares a little bit what we're going to be talking about on the webinar. And there was 3 questions that I brought out, and I thought, hey, let me just ask the CEO of the company. One of them is, why is medical billing the best business to start in today's economy? Why don't you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Sure. And I'm seeing a little gray box at the top in the middle.
Oh, you know what? I think that's because of my.
There it goes. It's gone.
Yep, that was I had our videos right there, and it was blanking that out there.
Okay. Yeah. So why is medical billing the best home business to start in today's economy? That's an excellent question. It's a question I get very frequently. And the answer is there is still a very big need for these services. And, when I talk to people on the phone, a lot of people think that medical practices, they're doing their billing in their office, they've got staff, and, why would they need to do anything else other than that? And the answer is there's a lot of inefficiencies that they don't even really realize in having the work done in their offices. First of all, there is a huge staffing issue right now for doctors. They're having a really hard time finding and keeping, people with medical billing and coding skills and paying them enough money to keep them employed at their practice. And so that's a big issue right now. But what usually is the deal is what we do is we do an analysis. We can show you how to do an analysis of a doctor's practice and actually help them understand that they can actually pay someone like you to do the work for less money out of pocket, and they're typically going to see better results in doing that. And so, the benefits of doing this is, as it says right there, is it can be done from home. It's a cloud-based system that we have, so you don't need to have any office space. You can work from home. You can work on the road. You can work virtually. Even if you get to the point where you want to grow your business to where you've got multiple clients and maybe you need to hire employees to help you, do all the work, everyone can work remotely. And the system runs on any computer, so it's very flexible, very scalable. The other thing I had a thought is the market itself. Not only are we doing medical billing for doctors, but with this business opportunity, you actually have about a dozen different services that you can offer to doctors, as you know, Eric. And we call it the revenue cycle management market. So there's a lot of the services that you can offer when you become a licensee, and we help you figure out what services a doctor might need. You're never going to offer all of them, of course, but in doing that analysis of their practice, we help you figure out what their needs are. But the revenue cycle management market is worth, I think last time I looked it up, it was worth about $160 billion right now. And it's projected to grow 11% every year, 11% annual growth rate. So, I think by 2028, it's going to be worth $285 billion or something like that. So there's just the need for it continues to grow. Because of all those different things that issues that doctors are having. So,
yeah, I remember whenever I first came on with you guys, and it's hard to believe it's been over 16 years ago. But I remember some of those questions being asked when we were doing webinars. Well, how long will this last? And, will there be medical billing in the future? And then, gosh, we went through a lot of governmental things that were coming up, changing of codes. And then obviously we hit the pandemic. People are still wondering, is this going to keep being a viable type of a business situation? And man, here we are. It's pretty amazing that, again, obviously I'll say this to you and to your family is, congratulations on, 30 years being in business.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Even my father, he used to think, well, this is, he started this whole thing in 1994 and he thought, like you said, he thought, by the year 2000, this is going to be saturated. There's not going to be much need for this. The problem is there's a lot of people that the barrier is very low. The barrier to entry is very low in this business. Anybody can take a course online about how to do billing. You can get certified in coding if you want to. That takes a long time, a couple of years to get certified. I would not want to do that personally. But and so you can pick out your own software. There's tons of different software options. You can come up with your own marketing flyers or whatever you want to do. And we actually get calls a lot of times from people that have done just that, and they say, you know what, I started a billing business, but I'm sitting at home not having any clue how to market this business. I don't know how to find business. I don't know how to get referrals from people. And so that's where ABS comes in. That's our expertise. We really have figured out the marketing methods that are getting the best results, and we help you out every step of the way with those methods. And so that's what you're doing is you're setting yourself apart from all the other crummy mom and pop medical billing companies that don't have a clue what they're doing. And so And that actually leads to this question. We got a question here from Divya. What if our area is saturated with medical billers? Why would the doctors choose me over their current billing partner? And that's exactly what I'm referring to is if you do a Google search in your area for medical billing services, medical billing companies, you're going to find a ton of results, as you will in pretty much any city in America. But what happens is you start clicking on those results, you'll go to the websites and you can tell right away if it's a pretty homemade looking website. Some of them don't even work anymore. Sometimes phone numbers don't work anymore because they didn't last very long because they don't know how to market. They don't know what they're doing. And so a lot of doctors, when you talk to them, they will say, yeah, I tried a billing company once, but it wasn't a good, I didn't have a good experience because the company didn't have a cloud-based platform. I couldn't get reporting in real time. I couldn't see what was going on with my numbers, my claims, and they felt like they lost control. Well, that is completely out the window with this program, which we're going to show you some screenshots and stuff. But I mean, you can have, custom-made reports delivered to their inbox every morning, every week that show them exactly what they want to see. They can log in 24/7 and see exactly where their claims are at and where their money is at. They just know that someone outside the office is doing the work for them. So it's a very, very, high-tech, efficient system. Not to mention all the marketing materials that we put together for you that really make you stand out. They really make you look professional. I mean, there they are right there. We've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars developing these marketing materials where they have a very nice feel. They're printed on very thick, nice, glossy paper. The presentation folders that we give you are very thick and nice paper, and they're the people, the other mom and pops in your area, they can't hold a candle to what you're doing as far as how you're presenting yourself. So that's really what sets you apart. And then my final thought on that, Divya, is those companies I told you to Google, they're offering one service. They're offering a medical billing service, helping the doctors with their insurance claims. As you can see here on this screen, you have so many different things that you can do for the doctors. You're just going to blow your competition out of the water with everything that you can offer, all the different services and things. So you really are more of a full service revenue cycle management company than you are just some little medical billing company. So they're not going to have a clue that you're working from home, even if you are.
Yeah, and I think when we did a interview not too long ago with Tim Warren, our director of support here, it's you when you enter into American Business Systems, you're actually entering into an organization that's going to support you. So you may be starting off brand new, but you're starting off with a team behind you. So not only you got all the different services and all the different marketing pieces, as we'll kind of keep going through that, but Adam, I think where ABS really made the big turn in helping people is obviously not only with the marketing part, but the support that they get. I mean, the in-depth support. And I know that the first support that everybody needs is marketing, getting that first client. But then, it's almost like, okay, great. Now I've got a particular client. Now what do I do? So
yeah, exactly.
It's all there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a whole team of people with ABS behind you, helping you with not only every step of the way with the marketing to doctors, but even beyond that. Like you said, when the doctor signs a contract with you, that's our goal, is to get you a signed contract as quickly as possible. But we don't just say, oh, good luck, see you later. We actually handle all of the training and implementation for the doctors and their staff on the software. We handle any kind of software integrations or data migrations from other systems. So we're doing a lot of technical heavy lifting for you on the back end as well. So it's really, you've got, like I said, you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. You've got this huge team of people helping you, which is critical for success.
And this, obviously, everything you've been saying kind of really leads up into what we were talking about, what makes ABS one of the best business opportunities available today. I think one of them, again, is obviously just the fact that, I'll get right to here. I know it's a little bit small print, but the investment to get involved in this is still very affordable for most folks. And then just last week, we just did one not too long ago about, how you can get to return on investment, within the first year. So you want to talk about the investment. And I know that we've got some buzz around maybe what's going up after the first of the year. And I know I've gotten questions, how much is it going to? But you want to kind of just talk about the investment that it is for it right now.
Sure. And there's another little gray bar that popped up, a small one.
Yeah, I'm going to try to figure out what happened there with that. I'm going to move this out of the way and see if that helped it.
There it goes. It's gone.
There we go.
Oh, now there's another big one at the bottom. Oh, there it goes. It's gone.
Got it. I'm moving stuff around on the screen.
Yeah, I didn't know that those other windows interrupted the display like that. That's weird. So we've been doing this for a long time, and if you have been researching franchises and business opportunities, you should know, if you've been doing your research, you should know that anything under 30,000 is a very reasonable investment range for like a franchise type model. And that's essentially what we are with the training and ongoing support that we give you. It's just that we're helping you set up your own independent company. So it's a little bit different, but yeah, so the investment of $28,990, that's it. You pay that up front and there's nothing paid on the back end. There's no royalty fees, there's no support fees. And we support you for the life of your business. As long as you are in business, you can always call us and get support on any kind of marketing or technical issue. We have a private support website that we're going to talk about. And if you look at the return on investment, the potential for return, which you've been covering this week after week. You went into it detailed on last week with the calculators and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally, with one client, depending on what type of client, general practice, something like that, you could essentially make the $28,990 back within your first year of business. And that's just with one doctor. We have owners that sign up more than one doctor in their first year. So, if you sign up 2 or 3 doctors in your first year, you're going to see a return on that investment much, much faster than 1 year. So the potential is just huge for this. And that's why we have the price at where it is. I mean, our founder, my father, has been wanting to raise it. We got to raise it. It's worth more. But I've been holding them back. But yeah, the rumors are true. Yeah. It is going to be going up next year. I still don't know we haven't decided on what it's going to be. But if you guys are thinking about getting involved, now's the time to do it.
Yeah. Let's get it done. And then, because really what they're getting for all of that is everything I'm going to kind of start showing through here. And obviously we kind of talked about all the different, income generating services, the revenue cycle part of it, as you mentioned, which is the billing, the practice management, the electronic health records. You mentioned about mom and pop websites that are out there. I do have a quick snapshot of one of ours that can be chosen from, but it's a solidly looking website. And I think we don't really go into this a lot on these webinars, but you've built websites, I've built websites. Some people on here may have built websites, and it's kind of fun to do that and get the graphics. But I think the most difficult thing about website building is, what are you going to say? The copy of what you would kind of say about websites. Yeah. That all comes with your website here. So Adam, kind of talk about the investments that you've made, your team behind the scenes of making sure that the wording is properly in these websites.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not just graphics, but copy is very important, and coming up with stuff can be very time consuming, in that regard. So we've spent a lot of money again developing. We have 8 different really nice looking templated websites that are ready to go. We just take your name, your logo, your brand, and we put it on there. As you can see in that top left corner there, we put that little logo from one of our owners, pretend owners' websites there, or company names. But yeah, so all of the services are listed on your site with really great descriptions of the service and why a doctor would need that particular service. And there's several different pages there that they can scroll through, and they can click a button to fill out a form to request a practice analysis from you, which is really the first step in the marketing process, is to do an analysis to help them understand, what their issues are, what their needs may be, because a lot of them don't realize. So yeah, so it's a really, really great, nice, clean looking website. All the graphics, all the copy is already done for you. We can send you some samples if you want. Just reach
Right.
out to your ABS rep that invited you to this webinar, and we can send you some sample links, some live sample links to go click around on and look at. So
Awesome. Great. And then leading into that, obviously we got the product, we got the services, but let's talk about the support side. I remember whenever we used to do training back in the old days, well, we brought everybody here to Dallas area, and I remember we were wrapping everything up. Your dad would get up at the front and tell everybody that they're going home with a set of DVDs. You remember that?
yeah.
So it would have everything that we have on this website on these DVDs. The problem is that we would update stuff, and we'd have to try to figure this out. So you and your team kind of crafted this website here called and I think we already had somewhat of the licensee support site, but boy, it has grown to where it's just chock full of information.
Yeah, everything's a lot more streamlined now, starting with the training itself. The training is now done online with a live instructor, so you can do it from
Yep.
home or wherever you are. And it's done privately with the instructor, so you get all the attention. You can ask all the questions. But yeah, that's how we do it now. But yeah, all of the training that we have that we give you initially is also cataloged and recorded and placed on this website in a digital format and video format. So you actually get lifetime access to this support site that you're looking at, this little screenshot here. We call it the licensee support site. It's the LSS is what we call it. But you get a lifetime login to that. And I don't know if you can read those little tabs, but basically it has every single marketing method has its own page where you can go watch videos and download documents and get education. Same for the services, videos and webinars on all the services and how they work and what the pricing is and all that stuff. So everything is in there to refresh your memory and continue your education, continue learning as you're out there building your business at the same time. And you get lifetime login to that. So it's always updating. If you go to the news section, you'll see that there's always news, updated news being posted. And we're also doing ongoing webinars as well for owners. So we do these Wednesday webinars for people that are exploring the opportunity, but we do webinars on Fridays for our owners. And so they go into a lot of detail on new services, new partnerships, new marketing methods, all kinds of great stuff that we've got coming. So you're always able to continue learning because really healthcare, I mean, it's a lifelong learning process. It never stops. It's always changing. Yeah. So you're able to stay on top of it.
Well, Adam, let me ask you a question here. If someone buys today, and they invest and make the investment to themselves, and you, because I know that you're always exploring other services, other solutions out there, will they have to pay extra for any of those future services?
Good question, and the answer is no. We always want to grandfather people in on any new services and products that we have. Now, Eric mentioned in the beginning that research guide that we have. So we have a research guide that you're going to want to download, and it goes into detail on all the services that we have currently that we're offering. And yeah, there it is right there. And there's a page that shows you what kind of revenue you could expect on that particular service, depending on how many clients you have using that service. Now there can be some small transactional fees that some of our partners may charge, but you're always building that into what you're charging the doctor. So you're always marking it up. So you're always making money in every case. You're never paying money out of pocket unless you have a client, that's paying you for that particular service, if that makes sense. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in here into an area. And now, folks, let me remind everybody, we're already at the bottom of the hour. We've got about really 25 minutes, and then we'll take about 5 minutes to kind of wrap up here. So if you got any questions, now's the time to kind of type those in, and Adam and I will jockey those questions back and forth and make sure that we get your question answered. But what I want to ask you is, how was I don't know if this was your first or second or third attempt to do some writing. How was your experience writing with Dr. Vicki Rackman?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I mean, she actually wrote probably the bulk of that book, but I had a chapter that I wrote in there, and it's been a great. She's very prolific. She's written a bunch of books that are on Amazon. If anybody wants to go out there and look up her name, she's got a lot of books out there on Amazon. But yeah, this is just one marketing tool out of several books that we have created specifically for you. You know, if you become an ABS business owner, to use as a marketing and educational tool to build your credibility and, you know, ultimately, you know, get clients is the goal. But you know, this is one, you know, we've been talking about building up your credibility and,
Mhm.
you know, setting yourself apart from the competition. There's no other medical billing companies out there that are giving out books with their name printed on the front. I mean, this one we don't customize, but we have another one that we do customize and put your name as the author of the forward of the book, The New Thriving Medical Practice. And so giving out these free gifts to people, doctors, office managers, that's just something that medical billers are not doing at all. And so this right here is just one small thing that we do that really sets you apart. And the doctors will start to very quickly view you as, oh, this person is just trying to help me understand my you know, my revenue cycle, my billing process. They want to help me, you know, without necessarily selling me anything. So you can educate them and help them without them, you know, doing any business with you. I mean, but ultimately that's what you're doing is you're proving your worth to them so that at some point they're going to go, you know what, I think we should do business because you've been giving me all this cool information that I can use, and you seem to be a very trustworthy person. You know, that's what they end up thinking with this type of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those that's where your name is located in the book. And Adam, I'm assuming that there is a forward that's already kind of written for brand new business owners as they're coming in. Is there any chance that they're able to update that, maybe add some of their own words to it?
Yeah, sure. We can do that if they want to. But yeah, as you can see there, the forward has already been written for you. And we put your name and address and phone number on the inside pages and on the front cover, as you see down there at the bottom. So those are customized and those are included in your business package, you know, when you become a licensee. So
You bet.
it's really great because it's just that's a great way to stand out.
Or Landria is asking, is this a digital book or a physical copy? This is a physical copy. Matter of fact, you can go get this book already on Amazon. I know it's out there on Amazon. I've even told folks, you know, hey, listen, I like books. I mean, these are all real books back here or back behind me if you can't see them. But you know, I encourage you. You can get a copy of this in a PDF from your business coach that you're working with. I encourage you to get it and read it. But sometimes it's just good to have a physical copy of it, so you can actually go get one for yourself. And I always think it's just a good investment for yourself to kind of really get to know really what you're getting into. And so we're not here to sell books to you. That's not what this webinar is all about. But have one in hand for yourself, kind of get to know it. That's a really good thing to have. Matter of fact, Adam, if you'll look at that question there, I'm going to prep up a video of one of our business owners that actually used this book during the pandemic and actually ended up with 3 clients. So I'm going to get that video ready if you want to kind of take that question, and I'll get this one ready.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so and going back to Orlandria's question about the books, the physical books are included in your business package. They're actual physical books that you can give to doctors as a free gift. So we have them in physical form and in ebook form. So like Eric mentioned, if you guys would like a copy of that ebook version, just let us know and we can send that to you. I'm just going to say Siri. Siri is asking a question. How many franchisees have continued with ABS since their payment for the revenue management license? What are the challenges to this line of business? Good questions. So we have seen, you know, of course, not everyone that goes through our program succeeds. I mean, this is not for everyone. You know, it's a training and support program is what it is. So you're going through our school, you're getting the training, and then we're going to support you ongoing for as long as you need it. That's what we do. Now, what people do with this business once they go through the training, it's tough to say. I mean, there are people that do it part-time and they really, really kind of, you have to struggle a little bit more doing it part-time to get your first couple of clients. But the people that give up on the business and just move on to something else, we're probably seeing maybe a 10 to 12% dropout rate of people that just stop doing the marketing and give up. And obviously, if you stop doing our marketing plan, that, you're not going to be able to get any clients. It's the ones that continue to do our plan over and over and over and repeat it over and over and over, all the steps that we teach, and including proper follow-up. That's a very important key thing to do, proper follow-up with doctors. They get clients, so that's it. I mean, there are people that go through the program, they end up taking a job at some other job offer, and they just put the business on the shelf. That's the other thing, though, that's really cool about this business is, though, because we give you lifetime support, we have actually had people that have gone through the training, and then for whatever reason, they take a job offer or something and they put the business on the shelf. But then, a year or two later, that job doesn't work out. They call us up and they say, hey, I'd like to kick this thing off again. Can you help me relaunch my business? Absolutely, we can help them. Yeah. So our support team goes through this whole, call with them of helping them figure out how to relaunch their business, showing them how to, get all the information and training that they need off the support site, because they still have access to that, and get people right back on track with the business. So hopefully that answers that.
Good. Well, I know that one of the things that we talked about today, as kind of having people to invite them today, is to hear from folks. And I thought we'd hear from this guy right here. And I think I've got it set to where it's going to play through your speakers. So here we go.
We had to figure out the new marketing paths with COVID-19, but we've done that. So
yeah. Well, I know that you're using our book, The New Thriving Medical Practice, because there's a copy right there with your name on the front cover.
Right. I've actually got one. I don't know if you all can see, but I've got one right here in my hand, and there's my name right on it. So you can see that. But this book actually has been a great tool, because I sent this book to an orthopedic surgeon who called me and read the book. A gastro as well called me, a gastroenterologist, because of this book, and then also sent it to a dermatologist who's looking to grow his practice. And we went down and had he called us, or his office administrator called us, and we went down and had a face-to-face. But yeah, so we're making headway, and it's just changed the dynamic a little bit in terms of how you market. And fortunately, ABS was ahead of the curve, not knowing, of course, that there was a pandemic coming, but in providing a multiple tools, different ways, different paths to marketing. And so this book has been really good for us, because you have to nowadays get yourself invited into their space.
Yeah, so you said that you had just basically mailed the book out to 2 or 3 doctors with a handwritten note.
Yeah, that's what I did. So let's talk about the dermatologist. I had never met him before. I saw online, I was doing a little research. I found this dermatologist and looked at their website, and I happened to see that they were hiring for somebody to do inside billing. And so I thought, okay. So I took out my book and put a little handwritten note in there and stuck it in an envelope and sent it to him. And a couple months went by, because I did it pretty early, I would think. It was before the pandemic. But once the pandemic hit, I think, there's a realization now with these doctors, like, oh, well, geez, my billing staff can't come into the office. I'm losing patients. There's all of a sudden a realization that there's trouble.
There you go. I mean, that's an awesome testimony right there from one of our business owners utilizing the book. So people want to know if it's real. It's a real book. there you go.
Yeah, and luckily we're mostly through that whole pandemic business. I hope.
Yes.
So it's still, because he was talking about how he mailed out things and didn't have to leave his house or whatever. But of course, there are still a lot of people now that are starting to do a lot more networking, face-to-face networking. And that's a big part of what we teach you, is how to get out there and do some face-to-face, meeting with people, and you can start giving out those books, handing them to them physically in person. Also, I wanted to touch on a little bit that we actually go into detail, because, we know that doctors are super busy, of course. They don't have time necessarily to read an entire book. So we actually we train you on how highlight certain and bookmark certain sections, certain chapters of that book, so that they can very just quickly get the gist of it, just quickly flipping through it, so they don't have to read the whole thing either.
There you go. I mean, it does make it easy. And there is a webinar that I show that on one of the slides where it's got these little tabs there, shows where we highlighted some areas there, and it does make it quick for that doctor to kind of get through. Adam, you want to answer the question that's come up from Alandria on the training?
Yeah, she says, do you offer ongoing training and support only on the marketing piece or with billing and coding as well? It's everything. So we have technical training on our support site that I've been talking about, as well as we have several different partners that have vast training libraries that you can access on usage of the system and how everything works. So it's all there. And we have support staff that can very specifically help you if you have any kind of issues that you run into, doing billing with some of your clients. We can help you figure out if something's going, if you can't get a claim to go through and you don't know why, we can help you figure that out. So we are going to make sure that the claims are being processed and that the doctors are happy, your clients are happy.
Yeah, I just thought I'd put a picture of a few of those folks up here that they're think of other ABS business owners as part of your coaching team, because each one of these people that we have up here actually do help with other business owners here on specialties. I mean, gosh, there's everything from cardiologists that they're doing billing for, to chiropractor, to massage therapist, to just about every medical healthcare where someone's billing on a CMS 1500 form. We've got someone out there doing that. And everything, as Adam says, everything from the setup to making sure that you're getting everything going properly, we've got you covered whenever it comes to that. Adam, before we move on, if we've got time, maybe we can share one more video. But let's talk about a couple of these. I know that most people probably have talked about coding. We've got those two services, AuditGuard and CodeWrite. You want to explain how basically those are those two boxes that are underneath this one says virtual care. You want to talk a little bit more in depth of what this service really does for our business owners and how it actually helps them as they're talking to new potential clients.
Yeah, well, we've mentioned coding a few times on this webinar, and anybody that's been researching this business, you always see that going hand in hand with billing and coding. All the articles out there say you have to know billing, you have to know coding, you have to know it all. And to an extent, that's correct, but not necessarily the way that we do it. So we actually have made it a heck of a lot easier for folks who go through our program. We do not certify you in coding. Well, why is that? Well, it takes forever. That's why. We fast track your success. And so what I mean by that is we have a coding service those are both kind of the same companies, AuditGuard and CodeWrite. And so we essentially have certified coders that can do the coding work on your behalf. Now, we have a lot of doctors that, our system that we have makes it so easy to do the coding. A lot of doctors don't need help with coding at all. They can just select their own coding. Let me kind of clarify what coding is. Whenever the doctor treats a patient, there is when they have a diagnosis for that patient, there's a code number that needs to go along with that diagnosis of what's wrong with the patient. And also, if they perform any procedures on the patient, there's codes that go along with that as well. So that's what those codes are. And those code numbers have to be put onto a claim form to be sent into the insurance company so the doctor can get paid. So that's what that's for. But that can be a very nuanced, very challenging skill to make sure that you're doing the right coding. And so that's why we don't really necessarily want our owners having that liability. They're not making the coding decision. So our certified coders will go in there and do the work. But another thing that you can do to kind of get your foot in the door is you could offer the doctors to just review their current charts and make sure that they're doing everything correctly. And so that's what AuditGuard does, because for those of you who are not in the industry, you may not be aware that Medicare is actually really cracking down on doing audits of medical practices. And if they find the doctors are doing anything wrong as far as their coding, whether they're doing it wrong on purpose or not, it doesn't matter, but they could have some huge fines. Medicare is levying huge fines against medical practices. I mean, $250,000 for one screw up, so it could be very, very costly for the doctor. So what Audit Guard does is it goes in like a pre-audit before they get audited, and we make recommendations on okay, you need to do this differently, you're doing this right, you need to do this differently. And so we give them this very detailed report on how they need to be doing their coding and their workflows and everything. And essentially, if they've gone through this Audit Guard program, if Medicare comes and does an audit for them, the chances of them being fined are greatly reduced. So that's been a huge door opener for some of our owners. Yeah. So that's how that works.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. And then just because we're looking at this one screen here, I see right there at the bottom there, this is something about dental billing. I know that we've got a lot of people who always ask about dental billing. Just touch on that real quickly, and then maybe the at least the one to the left there, this Credentials Now.
Yeah, sure. So we have a partnership with a dental billing company called Dentamax. It's a software platform. It's separate from our iClaim medical billing platform. It's dental billing is a totally different set of codes. It's kind of a different process. There's like X-rays and all kinds of stuff. So you can go down that road if you want to. I hesitate because we don't really have a lot of people making a lot of money in dental. And the reason is because there are a lot fewer codes and it's not quite as complicated. And so a lot of dentists just do it in-house, and there's not a ton of savings for them to have somebody outside the office doing it, unless they're paying somebody in-house, a huge salary, and they could save money by having you do it. So anyway, you can go down the dental road if you want to. And then Credentials Now, basically any doctors that want to start getting on a new insurance, start accepting new insurances and get on new insurance plans. That's kind of what credentialing is. There's the whole process of doing a whole bunch of paperwork to prove the doctor's credentials to the insurance company and all that. And so it's kind of a lot of paperwork. It's not a job that I would want to do personally, but we have a partner that does the credentialing work, and you as an ABS owner can sell that to a doctor, and of course you mark it up and make money on it, and you're not having to do any of the work for the credentialing.
And I think you bring up a great point there. I think I think a lot of people come to these webinars thinking that they're going to get into business and become a medical biller. Folks, if you just heard what Adam mentioned, and I like to try to stress on as many webinars as I can, folks, you're becoming a business owner that does revenue cycle management. So imagine that you've just got a turnkey business and you've got a credentialer in-house, you've got a coding specialist, you're a certified professional coders, you've got HIPAA compliancy specialists that are on your team. You have all of this from the very beginning of you becoming a business owner in revenue cycle management. So if you can, just raise up your head a little bit. Don't get your head too much in the weeds of thinking, gosh, I got to learn all these codes. I got to learn how to place all this. Although that you may do a lot of the billing in the beginning, you still have this entire team of credentialists behind you and certified professional coders and HIPAA compliancy specialists and all of this back behind you to help you as you're growing your business and not as you're going out there marketing your business and talking about your business. So think of this as that you are becoming your own CEO of your company. Now, Adam will tell you he's the CEO of his company. Doesn't mean that he doesn't do anything. He sits back and kisses his feet up on the desk. He's doing it too. He's just doing the business, doing the work. So this is but you're at least guiding and you're leading in your company of your own particular business. What do you say to that, Adam?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you are the owner of your own company, and that's how you have to present yourself. Look, we just opened up this new office here in the area. I'm the owner of the company. I have people that do work for me, so if anybody throws you some kind of curveball question or something, you know, you can say, you know what, that's a great question. Let me get with my team and I can get you an answer on that, you know? So it's again, it's just all in how you present yourself, and that makes you appear to be a very well-established large company, because you can tell them I'm a part of a 30-year-old nationwide network of offices that
Yes.
process thousands of claims every day, and we've got all kinds of things that we can do to help doctors. And so, you know, it's just little things like that that we teach you how to say that, you know, it's helping you position yourself properly.
That's exactly positioning, like you said, the credibility that comes along with the books. We didn't really get to mention either that part of your credibility that you have here is this team member with Dr. Vicki Ratner. She is part of your team where she can actually introduce you to other doctors by a letter that will accompany your book. So there's a lot of great things that we have here. Adam, we got about 10 more minutes. Let's grab that one last question, and then I've got one more question for you before we start to sign off here. So you want to take Landry's again?
Yeah, she says, are there any specialties that are in the medical field that ABS does not support? No, I can't think of any. It's any specialty you can think of anywhere in the country. Even you know, it doesn't have to be like physicians. It can be, we have durable medical equipment clients. We have pharmacies, labs, all kinds of different clients. So anyone who's filing a medical claim form is a potential client. Now we target the small to medium-sized private practices. We don't go after hospitals; those are too big. So our target is, you know, the sweet spot for you is the small to medium size. So like 10 doctors in a group or less is kind of the sweet spot. And of course, there are specialties that work better than others when it comes to our medical record system that we have. Every system is like that. You know, you can't be all things to all specialties.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we can pretty much service any specialty you can think of. So.
There you go. Yeah. Adam, as we kind of start getting wrapped up here, you're the CEO, you're the captain of the ship. Where do you see ABS in the future? We've kind of talked about ABS in the past, what has happened over the 30 years, where we are today. Where do you see this in the future?
Well, I'm gonna keep this thing going as long as I possibly can. You know, we really are having an effect on the private practices in America. And that's a great feeling. You know, you as an owner, you're really making a difference. I mean, I'm not trying to sound cheesy, but you really are making a difference in your community. I mean, you're signing up medical practices and helping them, you know, thrive instead of struggle with their receivables. You know, you want your doctors to be able to just focus on medicine and not worry about the money part, not worry about the paperwork and, you know, the claims and all that stuff. That's your job, you know, help them out so they can just focus on practicing medicine. But yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what I want to see. Is I want to see, you know, some business owners in every state in America, you know, keeping doctors in private practice and having them not, you know, struggle or have to shut down, or, you know, because it is a struggle for a lot of those smaller practices. And if we can get in there and show them, look, we can make things a lot better for you this way, that's what we want. So
You bet.
yeah.
Well, Dr. Ratner has talked about that several times. You know, just the burden that doctors have, and gosh, they're trying to take care of their community. I mean, that's why they're in practice as they are. They see a lot of people that are really, really sick. But then you add the burden of they're not collecting, they're not getting paid to that mix. You can see how that will affect your community and the healthcare of your community. That's what Adam's talking about there. So you can play a huge role in what your community looks like there. So being a part of that community is extremely helpful. Adam, I'm going to let you take this last one here, just about the 30-day money-back guarantee, because this is something that your dad put together several years back, and you know, it's you guys have never wavered off of it. So why don't you share a little bit about this and how it works, and then I'll take us out and wrap up this webinar this afternoon.
Yeah, we realized that the $29,000 basically, that's a lot of money for some folks to invest. We realized that. So we've kind of added this little safety net here. So basically, you can pay the fee, go through our entire training, which is 10 90-minute modules. So your entire training is about 15 hours total. That can take you maybe a couple of weeks to get through. And once you've gone through all of that training and seen all the good, the bad, and the ugly about the business, everything, behind the curtain, you can then decide at the end, you know what, this is not right for me, or yeah, this is right for me. But if you feel like it's not right for you, just tell us and we will give you 100% of your money back. And we've done that a few times throughout the years. It wasn't right for them. But most people, whenever they get done with the training, I mean, if you go look at our Google reviews, they're like blown away by the training, the trainer. They don't realize how much opportunity is really there until they go through the training and see how all the services work and the potential for all the revenues on those. So, you're going to love it. But if you don't, we'll give you your money back.
Absolutely. Adam, hey, thanks for joining me this afternoon. If you don't mind, I'll just kind of wrap this thing up for all of us and see if there's any last minute questions. But thanks for being on here today. I know that you've got an extremely busy schedule of keeping up with not only folks that you're working with, but running the company. So thanks for your time this afternoon.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Eric. Thanks everybody for being on, and hopefully we'll see you at a training soon.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Adam. Appreciate you. All right, folks, here are your next steps. Again, some of you know this, so if you don't mind hanging around with me, it was good to have someone else on the webinar besides me talking for 1 solid hour. Although I don't mind it, it's a lot of fun. We have good times when we're on these webinars together. But we've already mentioned the research guide. Again, I'm gonna pop that back up over here so you can see what it looks like again. If you don't have a copy of this, make sure that you reach out to your business coach here at American Business Systems. Let's get you a copy of that. And let's also include, remember folks, we've mentioned to you about the New Thriving Medical Practice. If you can't afford the book right now, it's like I said, it's $25 off of Amazon. And again, we're not here to sell books. We're not pushing that at all. But at least get a copy of it in a PDF format and start reading it and start getting your education. The education that we give you on the webinars, obviously the opportunity for you to get the PDF of the book, and then the research guide. Then there is the 5 secrets to your success here at ABS. You can get a copy of that. Again, ask for that by name with your business coach. So get this information, dive into it. Go back and see some of the other webinars by going to our YouTube channel. We have our own YouTube channel, youtube.com/YABS. I think you can even get it from our website too, that you can get there. But on there are literally years of webinars that we've done. The great thing about American Business Systems, we're about as consistent as every day comes around. Every Wednesday for every week of the year, whether it's close to a holiday, on a holiday, we are doing a webinar every Wednesday. We've been doing it for years. And it just shows our commitment to you because we believe in what we actually have here to deliver for you. But part of your due diligence is also talking with some of these business coaches or that could become your business coaches. Those are those ABS licensee references. These are the folks that are actually owners of their own company. And you can talk to these folks. Ask them to give you the skinny, basically, on everything that's going on with their business. They'll share with you. They'll open up. They'll even share with you their mistakes that they've made. Adam and I can talk with you every Wednesday about how good the business is, but talk with folks that are actually in the business and be able to do that. Now, one thing we really didn't talk much about today, and that is doing a live demonstration of the iClaim EMRX platform. Again, get back with your business coach. This demonstration will probably last about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending upon the kind of questions that you have. To me, I think you fall short if you haven't done a demo yet with your business coach. Let them show you how the iClaim and the EMRX software work and why it's better than anything else out there. They'll take the time with you. And one of your takeaways from doing this live demonstration with us is that this is exactly the same demonstration that we will do for you for your potential client that you will have on the other side of becoming an ABS business owner. That means what we're going to do is help you, handhold you through the entire process of training, help you through with your marketing. And when you've got a doctor that says, you know what, let me see your system, because I promise you, they're going to want to see your system. We've got an entire demonstration team here that will do that for you. You're sitting there on the sidelines, you're listening to it, and it's a great way to continue your own education. But right now, you need that education. So sign up for a free demonstration with your business coach. They'll take you through that. And also, while you're at it, you might as well ask them to show you the licensee support site too as well. So that's going to be very helpful for you. Get the link for the purchase agreement. I think it's up to 5 pages. I show 4 right here. But the reason I want you to kind of see this, it might be a little hard for you to see, but on this first page that you can see right over here, it's right there about the refund policy. It's right on the front page on page number 1. So again, get that. Review that with your CPA, maybe with an attorney, maybe with a paralegal, somebody that you have that wants to review all this. That'll be helpful. Then just get your funding and get your scheduling of your training. And literally, folks, we can have you up and training within next week. We've got some spots available, obviously, because we've got other folks that are dropping off, and we can get you signed up and get you maybe as late as towards the end of next week, just depending upon how the schedules are falling and when you want to try to get started. But let me share with you as I kind of close up here, is that, folks, we're ending here at the end of the year. We're in the last quarter of the year. This is a great time for you to kind of get your education, all your training, get your business up and going, get your business cards going, get your website up and going, because you can literally start doing some marketing here at the end of this year, which means you'll have a client so much sooner as 2024 rolls around. Because if you're diligent about it, we've had some of our licensees get their clients within the first 30 to 60 up to 90 days. So you want to get a head start on this, because one of the things that we want to help you accomplish is to get your return on investment. That means if you're putting $30,000 into your business, we want to see you at least get that $30,000 back early 2024 or sometime in 2024. If anybody has ever been in business before, you know that it normally takes about 2.5, maybe up to 3 years to get a return on investment in any business. You need to get that done, because one doctor will give you that return on investment. If you didn't get to see that webinar that I did a week or so ago, go back and research ROI on our website, on that YouTube channel. You'll find it there. We just did that. Folks, I'm looking forward to being with you again next Wednesday. I've got some other topics I have in mind that's going to help you with your marketing, with getting yourself out there, getting yourself known, what it means to get yourself known within your community so that you'll have a successful launch. Give us a call here, 866-565-8413. Give us a shout on the email. That's at info@absystems.com. If you don't know who your business coach is, just call the number. We'll make sure that you get all that taken care of. It's been a great time with you this afternoon. I told you this hour is going to go by fast. Here we are over 2 minutes after the hour, and it's time for me to sign off. Listen, folks, y'all have a great afternoon. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next Wednesday. Hopefully, we'd see you in the training even as early as next week. Y'all have a good evening, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye, everybody.